and froze. Okay.
All right, Margie, how are you?
I'm okay.
All right.
I'm trying to make a cactus plant
All
here.
right. So we're going to be painting birds,
Now,
a bird. Um, this was a request by Karen Gomez. All right, and here's an example. Oh, I just messed up my poor little birdie. All right, so this is by Takashi, and
I
um,
recognize that bird right off.
yeah, he's a cutie, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's got a style. And
And
that's what we
then
all develop, some sort of a
I
style.
know. And then this is my bird that I did today.
Very nice.
So
Yeah.
I'm somewhere between the two. All right, so Margie, I'm going to start the demo now. Margie, Karen, and anyone else who's listening. Takashi, I'm sorry I messed up your painting. I'm going to ask you for another one someday soon. All right.
I'm sure he won't mind.
Yeah. All right. So we know that when we paint the bird that we you start with the head and the beak, right? The beak and the eye usually. Sometimes when we do the sparrow, though, um, we save the eye for the end. And I think today what I'll just do is not do it that way. Okay, so I promised you that I was going to use just one or two brushes. I have my fine line brush, and I have demo paper, which is not good paper. I did not get that from OAS. By OAS paper, I have the OAS paper behind me. And since I'm in the middle of a demo, I can't reach it right now. So I'm going to paint the eye. And this is a generic bird, a generic perching bird, right? And just,
And make sure you don't have a lot of water in your
yeah,
brush.
absolutely. Yes, don't
Make
take
sure
enough out of the
you
water.
tap it at the base of the brush, and just the tip only have the color or the sumi, because otherwise you'll be have a big eye that's bleeding.
Yeah. So I'm not really one of my skills is not making that eye with the hole that stays there for the highlight. So I generally go back into it afterwards and take some white paint and make the light of the eye. Every 50 paintings, I might get lucky and get the white of the eye to stay, but no worries. Okay, so the eye is about the level of the beak, and you can do the beak in outline form, or you can do it in one press makes your stroke. So we'll see what comes about today.
Sometimes the type of bird you're making a beak, they might have a little hook on the end, and it's very tiny, and that's
Yeah.
always fun to put on the paper.
Yeah. And so I've kind of hooked him a little bit, and then I'm going to give him a like a little mask because we're in COVID times, all right? So I'm just going to take my fine line brush here and give him a little mask. All right. So he has no head yet. So I'm switching now from my fine line brush to my mini flow brush. Margie, you got some comments here about how to paint the head? That would be great too.
Well, um, again, you need to really look at your bird. I was just doing a Phoebe bird, and he has a little bit of a crook on his head with a little bit of feathers.
Mhm.
Some birds do, and then with the sparrow, of course, he's a round-headed guy. So you don't want to have a lot of water in your brush again, and I wouldn't have a lot of dark paint
Yeah.
because
So I'm
yeah,
going in with like a medium gray, and I'm going to paint like
medium
a
gray.
semicircle here, semicircle, and then come down to his
Yeah.
shoulders, and then end like where his uh, wing would start.
All right.
And we'll see whether he comes out flat-headed or round-headed. I'm not sure. And notice like my brush is not quite as upright as it was before. Okay, and I'm going to come into the middle of that beak, trying to avoid the eye, giving myself maybe about 1/4 of an inch away from that eye. And press. Yep, he looks very much like a typical Chinese traditional little sparrow right now. Right, and so that's what he's become. So that's what I'm going to paint him as. So when we get to the body is egg-shaped, and we don't necessarily show the wings when we have him perched. So we're going to do just like 2 little parentheses marks. One there. And if I'm left-handed, I can turn my paper a little bit to help me so that I'm not doing it so much on the backhand. And the parenthesis there. There you go. And unlike Takashi, that has the tail up and down like that, it looks like my little guy, he wants to have his tail hanging down. So that's what I'm going to do. He's going to be perched here. All right, so I'm going to respect that. Maybe come in with a little bit darker ink, and like Margie said, very dry brush. And I'm going to get that tail. Can we still see my little guy being painted? Yeah. And depending on how I make that tail can mean whether he's a sparrow or there's some other species that look similar to sparrows.
And each one 20,000 other birds.
Yeah. I'm going to maybe make this a little bit longer than the sparrow so he can be one of those other kinds of birds. Okay. And I like to come from outside in.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
Get that point.
Yeah, and this is a little bit rounded here. I'm not too happy with that, so I can give it another stroke there. Okay. And I'm going to leave his belly out because I can give him a big belly full of fur. Could be wintry. But when I leave that out, that gives me more options. And then I'm going to just, with my fingernail, I'm going to stroke in where I think this brain will come out, this reed, right? So then I want to get kind of close. That might work here. And all right, so going back, you can go to your fine line brush, right? And just have those claws wrapping around the plant. Right, so I start here at the neck, and I make like an X mark like that, and that's where I know where my foot is because here's the hip. We'll come out right around there. We're going to bend that. Like that. Give him my big foot. So 3 of those will show. Now I think what I'll do is paint in the branch before I put the second foot in. Because maybe, depending on the way the branch comes out, or the rice or wheat that he's sitting on, may or may not see his other foot. Okay, so here I'm going to start at the bottom here, press, come through that, off the paper, yeah. Because whatever I painted first will come forward, and so I painted his toes first, and that came to the front. So now I have a better idea of what he should look like. I'm going to take my brush and get rid of almost all my color and give him a fluffy belly. And when that dries a little bit, I can give him a little bit more of a chin. And I can see now here he needs to have this other foot. Okay, so that would come there, coming back this way. I would start at the tail and make that X, and here's where it would come out. There's his leg, and then we do the toes. Wrapping right around. Okay, and if I want to give him some markings on the head, I can do that. The Asian sparrow has a little marking here on the cheek, and I can give him some dots, give him a little bit more personality. All right, hallelujah, that spot in the eye didn't go away, so I can give him a pupil now. There, and there's my little bird. Thanks, Margie, for your help. Oops, I'm frozen. Guys, did that record or not?
You're not frozen.
Oh, well, my taskbar is frozen. So I'm going to have to go out and come in twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how I'm going to end this. All right. Oh, no. All right, see you soon. I'm going to have to turn my computer off.